Hi, you guys. Thank you for joining me. I am really interested in finishing the book that we were reading together before we left fifth grade, and it was called The One and Only Ivan. So I have emailed you the book, not the real book, but a copy of the book. So if you look on Teams or you check your email, you will find a copy that looks like this. This is what I used to print for you guys when you would follow along when we would read the book in class. And so you're welcome to pull this up as you're watching my YouTube video, as you're listening to me. My best advice is that you're also following along with the text because it will help you to comprehend what's going on in the story. We're starting on page 54 on the PDF. So if you go ahead and you put your cursor up next to the number 200 and you type in 54, it'll take you to the chapter that we're on. We're on the chapter called Old News. I also wanted to take a moment to remind you where we were in the story. Just as a reminder, we're talking about a gorilla named Ivan. Ivan is the main character in the story, and the story is written from Ivan's point of view. Our next character in the story is Stella. She is an elephant, and she's one of Ivan's best friends. We also have Mac. He is the owner of the circus where Ivan lives, and he also raised Ivan since he was a baby gorilla. We have Bob, who is a small dog, and he is also one of Ivan's very good friends. Our character George is a custodian who works at the circus, and Mac is his boss. Then we have Julia. That's George's daughter, the custodian, the janitor's daughter, and she spends a lot of her free time at the circus with Ivan. And our newest character of the story is Ruby. Ruby was introduced right before we left school. She had arrived at the circus in a truck and she wouldn't come out of the back of the truck. So Stella, the big elephant, helped coax her out of the back of the truck. And now Ruby has joined the circus. And that's where we are beginning on page 54 of The One and Only Ivan. Here we go. Old News. When Julia comes, she sits by Stella's domain and watches the new baby, Ruby. She barely talks to me. Stella doesn't talk to me either. She is too busy nuzzling Ruby. She is cute, little Ruby, with her ears flapping like palm leaves, but I am handsome and strong. Bob trots a circle around my belly before settling down in just the right spot. Give it up, Ivan, he says. You're old news. Julia gets out a piece of paper and a pencil. I can see that she is drawing Ruby. I move to the corner of my domain to pout. Bob grumbles. He doesn't like it when I disrupt his naps. Homework, Julia's father scolds. Julia sighs and puts her drawing aside. I grunt and Julia glances in my direction. Poor old Ivan, she says. I've been ignoring you, haven't I? I grunt again, a dignified, indifferent grunt. Julia thinks for a moment and then smiles. She walks over to my domain, to the spot in the corner where the glass is broken. There's no grass in his domain. It was glass. She slides papers through. She rolls a pencil across my cement floor. You can draw the baby elephant too, Julia says. I bite the pencil in half with my magnificent teeth, and then I eat some paper. Next chapter, page 77, Tricks. Even after Julia and her father leave, I try to keep sulking, but it's no use. Gorillas are not by nature pouters. Stella, I call. It's a full moon. Did you see? Sometimes, when we are lucky, we catch a glimpse of the moon through the skylight in the food court. I did, Stella says. She is whispering, and I realize that Ruby must be asleep. Is Ruby all right, I ask? She's too thin, Ivan, Stella says. Poor baby. She was in that truck for days. Mac bought her from a circus the same way he bought me. But she hadn't been there long. She was born in the wild, like us. Will she be okay? I ask. Stella doesn't answer my question. The circus trainers chained her to the floor, Ivan, all 4 feet, 23 hours a day. I puzzle over why this would be a good idea. I always try to give humans benefit of the doubt. Why would they do that? I finally ask. To break her spirit, Stella says, so she could learn to balance on a pedestal, so she could stand on her hind leg, so a dog could jump on her back while she walked in mindless circles. I hear her tired voice and think of all the tricks Stella has learned. Page 79, Introductions. When I awake the next morning, I see a little trunk poking out between the bars of Stella's domain. Hello, says a small, clear voice. I'm Ruby. She waves her trunk. Hello, I say. I'm Ivan. Are you a monkey? Ruby asks. Certainly not. Bob's ears perk up, although his eyes stay closed. He's a gorilla, he says, and I am a dog of uncertain heritage. Why did the dog climb your tummy? Ruby asks. Because it's there, Bob murmurs. Is Stella awake? I ask. Aunt Stella's asleep, Ruby says. Her foot is hurting, I think. Ruby turns her head. Her eyes are like Stella's, black and long-lashed, bottomless lakes fringed by tall grass. When is breakfast? She asks. Soon, I say, when the mall opens and the workers come. Where? Ruby twists her head in the other direction. Where are the other elephants? It's just you and Stella, I say, and for some reason, I feel like we have let her down. Are there more of you? Not, I say, at the moment. Ruby picks up a piece of hay and considers it. You have a mom and a dad? Well, I used to. Everyone has parents, Bob explains. It's unavoidable. Before the circus, I used to live with my mom and my aunts and my sisters and my cousins, Ruby says. She drops the hay, picks it up, and twirls it. They're dead. I don't know what to say. I'm not really enjoying this conversation. But I can see that Ruby isn't done talking. To be polite, I say, I'm sorry to hear that, Ruby. Humans killed them, she says. Who else? Bob asks, and we all fall silent. One more chapter. Stella and Ruby. All morning, Stella strokes Ruby, pats her, smells her. They flap their ears, they rumble and roar. They sway as if they're dancing. Ruby clings to Stella's tail, and she slips under Stella's belly. Sometimes they just lean into each other, their trunks twirled together like jungle vines. Stella looks so happy. It's more fun to watch than any nature show I've ever seen on TV. See you guys tomorrow. Remember, be curious and read more, or listen to someone read and follow along. Bye, guys.